Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of I Should Be Painting. As always, I'm Aaron, and today we are going to be talking about whether you should buy miniatures with your head or your heart. If you are new to the Cool Guys Nation channel, thank you so much for giving us a chance. If you like what you see, remember to like and subscribe, hit that bell button so you never miss an update. And if you want to take your patronage to the next level, check out the link below for our Patreon, or head over to coolguysnation.com and sign up for our newsletter. With the new edition of Warhammer coming out, Warhammer 9th edition, you might be interested in getting yourself a new army. There's a whole bunch of changes to the rules and a lot of old models that are playable again, as well as I'm sure a bunch of new stuff that's going to be coming out. So what is the best way to buy a new army? Do you use your head or do you use your heart? Of course, what I want to say is that you should use your head. You should buy the core rulebook, you should buy your faction rulebook, you should read the rules, maybe you should watch some YouTube videos and see how it plays, and then you should pick your army methodically and carefully. But honestly, I don't think I've ever bought a miniature army that way, and even though it may be the best way to go about it so you don't waste your money, I don't think that that's actually the way that you should build a miniature army. Before we get into why I think this is, there are two smart things that you should do. One, know your budget. That is probably the most important thing of all before you start buying miniatures. Do not spend money that you don't have, and that is just in general a good rule of life. And two, know which game you want to play. Don't buy, 5 miniatures from 5 different game types. That's definitely not going to work. So know your budget and know which game you want to play. But beyond that, I don't think that you should be buying miniatures with your head. Let me tell you a quick story. Many of you may or may not be aware that I have Crohn's disease, which means that I am immunocompromised. So because of that, I have not been able to go to the Cool Guys Nation studio in quite a while, about 2 months. This past weekend, however, I did get a chance to go, and I brought my son along. While I was packing up miniatures and hobby supplies and different projects that we're going to be featuring on the channel for upcoming videos, my son went into the Cool Guys Nation studio and started playing with all of the miniatures that we have stored there. And it reminded me of why I love miniatures in the first place. My son, who's very young, went and he picked out the coolest tanks and the coolest ships, and he immediately started placing them on the board, and he didn't care about the rules. He did care a lot about the paint jobs, mostly Josh's paint jobs. So Josh, congratulations, the children like your paint schemes more than mine. But the bottom line is all he wanted was the models that he thought were cool. He wanted the tanks, and he wanted the flyers, and he wanted the crazy robots, and he came up with his own world with his own imagination and played with them and had a great, great time. When I think back of all the armies that I've purchased and all the armies that I've been most excited about and the ones that have brought me the most happiness, what are the armies that I have bought and how did I buy them? Well, I can tell you that there are 2 armies in particular that I was extremely excited for. We're just looking at the models and seeing how beautiful they were and how cool they were and how much they spoke to me was all I needed to know in order to buy them. And sure, I bought some troops and I brought some HQs, but mostly I bought what I thought was cool. And those 2 armies were Grey Knights, way back in the day when those giant robots came out, and then AdMech. I must have bought like 3,000 points of AdMech, like right off the bat. I just saw them. Yes, I already had a bit of knowledge. It wasn't like I was coming straight into 40K and I knew that I needed an HQ and I knew that I needed troops and whatnot. Of course, you have to know a little bit. But the bottom line is I purchased it because I thought it was awesome. And I remember when that package came and I opened up the box and I started putting together all of my Castellan and my Security and the transports and like, it's so cool. And honestly, to this day, even though I am a middle-aged adult, it's still that feeling that my son had looking at the models and think that they were really cool and going pew, 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 and moving them around the board that still draws me to Warhammer 40K. So my opinion is, if you're coming into the hobby and you're new and you're not sure what to buy, yes, you have to have something that fits in the Force org chart. You should at least know that. So let me just make this very clear and very straightforward. Buy a starter box, okay? Buy the quick start box. after you figure out which army makes you excited. And then buy that starter box, and that way you know you have the minimum that you need to legally play. And then, assuming that your budget can handle it, buy what you think is cool. Buy what makes you excited. And right now is a great time to do this because 9th edition is a lot more flexible and it seems like a lot more units are going to be useful. This game isn't just about winning on the table. It's about having fun. It's about having an experience, and it's about getting something that makes you happy. And a lot of times, if you're not quite as excited, like if you're buying units because, well, you know, I have to have these because I need to deep strike and I need to get that objective, like it can kind of suck some of the fun out of it, and it can suck some of the fun out of your hobbying as well. There is nothing more pleasurable than painting up a unit that looks good to you, that is also really cool, that you're just excited for. I will tell you another story as to why I've had this realization that buying what you think is cool is probably more important than buying what you think is good or buying what you're being told to buy. 5 or 6 years ago, I was going to an Adepticon tournament. And in that tournament, I knew that I was going to be playing Kings of War. And Kings of War didn't have all of the models for its lines yet, and it borrowed a lot of the models from Games Workshop. I say borrowed. So I wanted to play Empire of Men, which is of course human beings, and what I always thought was really cool was the Knights on Horseback. However, in old Warhammer Fantasy, the Knights on Horseback, they weren't that great for Empire of Men, so I never really painted them. I never really finished them because they didn't seem worth fielding. But the bottom line is that they were the coolest models to me. I thought that they were the coolest models. That's what I wanted. I wanted the Outriders with the pistols, and I wanted the Knights with the lances, and that's how I wanted to play the game. Kings of War gave me that opportunity, and before Adepticon, I spent 3 weeks painting probably some of the best models that I've ever painted, 2 giant units of these Knights, and not only did I have an amazing time painting them, but it wasn't a drag. Like, it wasn't hard to do from a mental perspective because I was excited about finally playing with the models that I've always wanted to play with. So if you are a returning Warhammer player, if you're a longtime Warhammer player, and there's just something that has always gotten you really excited, buy it. Seriously, buy it, play it, have fun with it. You know what I mean? And if you're a new player, peruse the website, okay? Go to gamesworkshop.com, go to Forge World, heck, go to Kickstarter. Look up things that make you excited and buy those models. Next, we're gonna go take a look at the 3 things around the internet that has gotten my attention this week, and all 3 of these things are going to be related to the new Warhammer 40k 9th edition. I'm gonna be recommending some other channels for some tactics and some army review, as well as some other channels for unboxing and rules and things like that, all related to 9th edition. These are videos that I've been watching and that I will be recommending to you. So let's go sit down at the computer and take a look at my 3 projects from around the internet. Well, here we are at the computer, and we're going to be taking a look at 3 things from the internet. As always, usually I try to pick projects from things on Facebook and whatnot, but this week I'm going to pick 2 rather larger YouTube channels that have been doing a great job with the new Warhammer 9th edition. If there's more information that you want to get, I highly recommend you take a look at this. And then one YouTube channel that I just ran across that has some fantastic terrain videos and how-tos, and I'm just really enjoying. So let's jump right in it. Our first stop is Tabletop Titans, and I had no idea about this YouTube channel. They have 16,000 subscribers, which is pretty small considering the amount of content that they have and just the amazing job that they're doing, but their 9th edition coverage has been absolutely incredible. And if we just scroll over really quickly, how to play Tau in 9th, how to play Space Marines in 9th, they've been having like live streams every day. They've been playtesting for a long time. Apparently they are GW playtesters, and they've had the rules, and I assume the points as well, for quite a while. And they are just diving really deep into the meta and to the details of all of the armies. So if you're super interested in that, I strongly recommend that you check out Tabletop Titans. They are fantastic. And by the way, my favorite color is purple. I don't know why I didn't theme my whole channel purple, but I love everything about their channel. These guys seem really great. Next, Tabletop Minions. If you don't know who Tabletop Minions is, I'm not sure what to say. They are one of the largest, if not the second largest or third largest tabletop YouTube channel out there. Adam is a fantastic person, and his unboxing for the Warhammer 40k starter set is also really, really good. I watched this video. I think it was like one of the first videos I watched for the unboxing, and he always just does such a fantastic job. He's such a great guy, so I strongly recommend you check out Tabletop Minions for a really great unboxing of the new Indomitus set. And lastly, we're going to go over to a hobby page, which is Tabletop Witchcraft. This guy does a bunch of amazing things. Specifically, I saw this DIY LED glue stick crystals for tabletop RPG, and it's a great tutorial. This isn't the first time I've seen this. I think I'm going to do one of these myself because I have a whole bunch of extra tea lights, and maybe we'll throw that into a video. But just in general, his channel is really fun. Just under 20,000 subs. I'm really enjoying all of the work he does. A lot of it is more focused towards Dungeons and Dragons and role-playing and things like that, but still, fantastic channel. I highly recommend you check it out. Tabletop Witchcraft, excuse me. Well, with that, I enjoyed seeing you all today. I hope you enjoyed this video as well. If you did, remember to like and subscribe, hit that bell button so you never miss an update. If you want to take your patronage to the next level, check out our Patreon in the notes below, or sign up for our newsletter at coolguysnation.com. And as always, we'll see you on the table.